Music is the divine language of the heart. It helps us realize a fundamental truth of our human nature. When we are moved by a song's essence, its treble, its bass, its rhythm, its lyrics, its passion, and its depth, we understand that man must explore. And this is exploration at its greatest. Get ready as we launch into song exploration. Welcome to Song Exploration. This is Raphael. I'm here with Catalina, and I'm excited to be here. Catalina, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
So Catalina picked a song, and she's super excited to share it with the world. When she breaks down the meaning of this song, your whole life will change. From this very moment. Have you ever seen The Matrix? Have you ever seen Star Wars? Have you ever seen Lord of the Rings? You know that euphoric feeling you get?
No pressure.
That is nothing to what Catalina is going to tell us now. I'm teasing.
Stop.
No, but it is. All right, it's a great song. But go ahead, Catalina, tell us what it is.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about a Coldplay song that was released in 2011 called Every Teardrop Is a Waterfall.
Beautiful. So do you want to read?
Yeah, let's dive into it. So I love this song, by the way. I just think it's such a fun beat. It's so catchy and whatnot, but there are some lines from this song that just really move me to tears. And I think that anybody who loves music is going to have an appreciation for this song, because I think the deep meaning of this song to me is the love of music and how no matter where you are in life and what's happening in your life, like you could be in the middle of insanity and craziness and you can listen to music and it can just take you somewhere else. And so anyways, let's go ahead and dive into this song.
That's very interesting, because even hearing you just say that made me think of some really cool things. And one of them, I don't want to get too far into this, so time me, Catalina. Give me like 30 seconds to a minute, but pull me back if I get crazy. But I remember there was a line I think I heard from a former pope. Matter of fact, I was just watching.
I think it was JP too.
It was John Paul II.
Yeah.
And he said, you know, there's some things that only music and art can solve. You need music and art to connect with spirituality, a higher power, that everything else will not work. Other spiritual practices, and it's really beautiful. And thinking about what we're doing here, song exploration, it's a perfect song to start with. Isn't that right, Catalina?
I think so.
That's why you picked it.
That's right.
You pick them well.
I do.
Okay, go for it.
All right, so the first verse, the first couple lines of the first verse are, I turn the music up, I got my records on, I shut the world outside until the lights come on. Maybe the streets alight, maybe the trees are gone. I feel my heart start beating to my favorite song. Should I keep reading?
No, we stopped there.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot already. So I mean, yeah, I just think that the way that the beat of this song is kind of heating up to a climax is what it feels like. And it just it's kind of makes me think and envision those moments where like whatever's going on in my life, like life could be crazy, like could be stressful, like I just feel all over the place or upset or sad or whatever. But literally that moment where you put your headset on and you just start turning up the music and you just start hearing the first beats or the first guitar strings or the first piano or whatever of that song that you love, that's just hitting your soul at that moment and connecting with you. And it just starts to tune out whatever else is going on, like whatever else seems so important in that moment that you just like, it just starts taking it away. It just fades away for those couple of minutes that you're listening to that song. And I think he talks about that when he says like that maybe the streets are light, maybe the trees are gone. To me, he's saying like maybe like the streets are burning down. Maybe the trees have all been chopped down and the planet is pretty much going down the toilet. But I can feel my heart start beating anew, you know, hearing this song, and you know, your heart just starts like getting into it. And it just, like I said, I can't think of a better way to describe it than it just connects with your soul. And it's just, it's like that balm at that moment of like, expressing that emotion that you feel that maybe is hard to talk about or express, just connects with you on that different level.
It's awesome. It's awesome. And you made me think, and I hadn't thought about this in forever. I don't know if I ever thought or made this connection, that I remember being in college, and my college was about 3 hours away from my hometown. And then I went to a different college, which was about 2 hours away from my hometown. But anyways, I remember I'd go home a lot. I had a girlfriend back home, but doing the drive or even coming home just to see my family, driving home, doing that 3 hour drive, I would sing the entire way. And it was very healing and it was spiritual. And one of the places where I would drive, it was a lot of nature and beautiful trees. And I remember listening to some of my favorite music and just, it was a spiritual experience before I wouldn't call myself spiritual back then. But there were many elements of spirituality, which were really cool. Yeah, no, I love that. I love the first couple lines because I love what you say as well, that you can just shut out the world and just get into the music and really focus and let it take you to this other place where there's a little solace, there's a little calm, there's a reprieve, there's a rest. It's a reservoir of the soul, and you can just relax while you're listening to that song. And that's why sometimes even when I have a new favorite song, I just want to keep listening to it.
I put it on repeat and play it 800 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And he says it. I feel my heart start beating to my favorite song.
Yeah.
Like, how cool that happens. I love it.
Yeah. So the next couple lines are, all the kids, they dance, all the kids all night until Monday morning feels another life. I turn the music up. I'm on a roll this time and heaven is in sight. So, I mean, I think that all the kids, they dance, all the kids all night, I think, for me, it kind of points out like this concept of music transcends every other barrier. It transcends age gaps. It transcends language gaps. It transcends racial gaps, experience gaps, religious beliefs. Like, it transcends all of that, kind of like what you were saying at the beginning. Music is just, even without words, it just hits a part of your soul that nothing else can touch. And I just think that it kind of is like, everybody can get in on this, and everybody can be in a good place like all night long, just listening to the favorite music, because it's just such a connecting place, So I think that's really neat, and I think when he talks about Monday morning feels another life, basically, again, goes back to, maybe he feels totally run down by Friday, by life, just everything, the grind of it all, stress of life, whatever's going on, but just even spending some time listening to music and maybe not even doing anything else, that it not only feels like it breathes new life into you, but it also, like, he's even saying, like, heaven is in sight, like good things are, it just lightens you up so much. You feel like heaven is within grasping of you, and I don't know. I love it.
No, I love it. It's so great. I'm going to challenge you on this, though, Catalina.
Uh-oh.
Because I'm taking a different stance here.
No, you can take it however you want.
A totally different stance. Because Chris Martin, it almost seems like Chris Martin's paying us to talk so eloquently about this. But let me read these lyrics the way I think. This is like him at a confessional. All right? All the kids, they're dancing. His children are dancing, and they're having fun. And until Monday morning, it feels like another life. And him being a deadbeat dad that he is, he puts on his headphones, he turns the music up, and he's neglecting his children.
You're awful.
That son of a...
You're terrible.
I'm just kidding.
What is wrong with you?
I got deep problems, but no, I'm kidding. But it did remind me of something funny.
By the way, all of that was kidding around.
Yeah.
Don't think Chris Martin is a deadbeat dad. Can we just say that for the record,
totally
please?
Not, totally not. No, I love Chris Martin. It's funny. There was another song, just a commercial break, and I don't know the name of the song, but I'll sing a little bit. It's like, all that she wants is another baby.
Oh my goodness.
She's come to Papa Boy.
Ace of Base, all that she wants.
And I used to hear this song, and I remember one time I said to Catalina, I go, what's with this woman? Like, just sitting around wanting babies all the time. Like she wants people to pay her for these kids. Like what's the deal?
Keep getting pregnant all the time.
Keep getting pregnant and get welfare checks. Like what's going on? And Catalina had explained to me that she didn't just want babies, that the term baby was something totally different. I bring all this up as a bonus feature that we will include on the end of the episode, potentially.
Goodness.
Or I don't know. All right, back to the track that you read, back to the song. No, I love what you said, and I like the last line, heaven is in sight. So the way I kind of look at it is like kids are happening. Life is like crazy, but he has the music once again to go to. He can turn it up at any time and he can kind of get this temporary reprieve, like I was saying before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Okay, so verse 2, it goes, I turn the music up. I've got my records on. From underneath the rebel, sing a rebel song. Don't want to see another generation drop. I'd rather be a comma than a full stop. And I'll stop there. So again, I mean, he's talking about this experience of expanding on this experience of listening to this music and being transcended by this music. But I think I personally really like the line, from underneath the rubble, sing a rebel song. Rubble, by the way, it sounds like I feel like I'm saying the same words twice. From underneath the rubble, sing a rebel song.
So R-U-B-B-L-E, sing a rebel, R-E-B-E-L.
Yeah, exactly.
Song.
But anyways, I like it because I think that to me it means it highlights music can be many things, and it can be calming, it can be soothing, it can be expressive of love or deep feelings, but can also like be a motivator to like fight for something. And I think that, from underneath the rebel sing a rebel song, to me is kind of him saying, I don't know, it's just highlighting that's another thing that songs can do. It can motivate you to like stand up and fight when you feel like all the fight has gotten out of you. Like you've been beaten down, you're under the rubble, you're under all of this, like pieces of rock that have been blown up in the war, and you're just buried in this stuff. But from under that, at that point, you still can sing a rebel song that makes you want to get up and fight and still stand when you felt like you couldn't do it anymore. And I think don't want to see another generation drop. I'd rather be a comma than a full stop, I think is him basically talking about like, I don't know, the continuation of music and the connection through music, and being a part of that continuation. I think for Chris Martin, who was one of the writers of the song and sang the song, it's that comma, right? If you think of a sentence, like a comma is, you're saying something and then there's a quick stop, like there's a break, and then you keep going and there's more to the sentence. It's not the end of the sentence, versus a period being the full, the end of the sentence. And so I think it's him saying like, this needs to be a continuation on, needs to keep going. And even back to the rebel song, like, even when it feels like you can't go on more, like songs can be motivation for that continuation and whatnot. So
that's so wonderful. You remind me the impact of songs. And I know when I was a kid, like hip hop and rap and, like working out to that music. And I can even remember one of my friends, because of my demeanor, one time he said like, you've been listening to a lot of rap, huh? But there's something about that, like thinking back to like a Public Enemy and the fight, and it like the music gives you that strength.
Yeah.
And also the being very perceptible person that I am, and I think all humans are, but myself in particular, music has an impact on me. Sometimes, going back to the earlier thing we was talking about, when nothing else will work, like I have a different playlists, and before we had playlists, I had different CDs, like more songs that are just peaceful and relaxing. When I'm stressed, they'll help me relax. When I need to fight and work out and conquer, I need to get in that state.
Yep.
And it's really cool that we, have that. But I love what you said, about the Rebel song and the other things you mentioned. So.
Awesome. Okay, so the next couple lines are, maybe I'm in the black, maybe I'm on my knees, maybe I'm in the gap between the two trapeze, but my heart is beating and my pulses start cathedrals in my heart. And this could like make me cry. I just think this is such like beautiful lines. And again, it makes me think of like, no matter where you are in your situation, like music can help you express what you're feeling, but it can also help you get through it and help you motivate to kind of keep moving on. And so it talks about like maybe I'm in the black, like maybe you're in a situation where you feel like you can't see anything in front of you. You're completely confused. You have no idea where you can go from here. Maybe you're on your knees. Maybe you're just like, you've literally been brought to your knees by the struggles of your situation. And you're just like, I can't bear it anymore. Or maybe, I love this line, in the gap between the two trapeze. So you think of a trapeze, like in a circus, you have one person on one side who's hanging on the trapeze and the other person on the other side hanging the trapeze. And then they usually have another person that they flip around in between you two. And so essentially it's where you've let go of what you were holding on to, but you haven't yet gotten a hold of what you're grasping to for the next trapeze. And so you're literally in that split second, you have nothing. Like you're grasping onto nothing and you're completely like in space, so to speak, and between maybe, where you've let go of something old, but you haven't gotten to the new thing yet. And it just feels like this really scary place. And he's saying like, even if I'm in any one of those situations where it just is, those are really hard places to be, listening to his music, his heart is beating and his pulse is pumping, and cathedrals in my heart to me is really talking about, if you've ever been in a cathedral, a huge like church that has these really high ceilings that were literally created to echo the sound of the music that's played in it, like in a very special, specific way. It's basically like it compounds it to make it even louder and echo against each side of the wall, so it kind of carries on. And so to me, he's saying like, the music is bouncing around his heart like in a big cathedral. Like it's just compounding on itself. And it's like even louder than it was when he initially started listening to the song. And I don't know. I love those lines. Like those are some of my favorite lines of any song that I've ever heard.
That's really cool. And you'd never shared that with me before, Catalina, but you're right. It's beautiful. To me, another take of it is like explaining divinity and hope. So being in the black, like even the music represents the force of God, like something good and powerful that you kind of touched on it. Everything else can seem like it's darkness, but there's this powerful hope that's going to pull you through. Like any good movie, and not just movie, it's a reflection of reality in life. And there's something beautiful that music does do that, but it also, there's an element of the divine within music and within these words to me that, like, be not afraid. Like all, you may think everything is done, but it's not.
Yeah.
And there's still more life. There's still something left. There's another chapter in the story, which is hopeful. A lot of hope.
No, it is.
Which is
It's awesome. I love it. Okay, so moving on to the pre-chorus, which basically says, as we saw, oh, this light, I swear you emerge blinking into, to tell me it's all right. As we soar walls, every siren is a symphony. And so, this is an interesting one because I almost feel like there's a bit of a dichotomy in the words that he's using, where it could be like you're in the middle of a scary situation where like, there's like, I don't know, like I, for some reason, and I don't even know if this is what he meant by this song, but I feel like you see the lights of like a siren kind of blinking and you see the chaos and whatnot, but yet like the music, comes through to kind of help, like you said, bring hope and kind of comfort you.
Right.
And so even you're in this situation where you're just kind of like, I don't know, overwhelmed. It's your spirit starts to, like he says, soar over the walls, like starts to kind of carry you beyond that situation that you're in right now. And then every siren is a symphony. Again, that's where like I'm thinking siren, like sirens of, ambulances or fire trucks or something. And even that situation turns into, I don't know, something positive, something like lively. I don't know. Yeah, I guess I'm having trouble expressing myself, but I feel that's kind of the imagery that I get when I listen to those lines.
No, I mean, so it's funny because it's a continue on with the previous verse. As we saw, oh, this light, I swear you, emerge blinking to tell me it's all right. Once again, back to my take on the divinity. It's this inner peace. It's this God. Somehow this power is telling me it's going to be okay through the chaos. And, as we soar walls, every siren is a symphony. So the siren, something bad could be happening, but when you stay connected to the source, when you stay connected to the power, you can transform everything, even as to something beautiful. And that can't happen on our own. So I find that, really powerful. But the next line, Catalina, every tear is a waterfall, is a waterfall. How do you break that one down?
So my interpretation of every tear is a waterfall is kind of like, because if you look at the language that he uses, cathedrals in my heart, every siren is a symphony, and every tear is a waterfall, he's kind of using these, he's kind of describing something that like if I'm thinking of a beat in my head versus hearing these like music echoing in a cathedral, there's a big difference, right? Like one seems really small and one is huge, where it's like you could feel the vibrations practically from the music, standing in the cathedral type thing. So I think that he's constantly talking about kind of these really small things, but how they are so much bigger, almost like when you're experiencing them in a certain way. And so I think when he's saying that every tear is a waterfall, it's kind of that same, it's along those same lines where he's saying it's a tear, it's just a single tear, right? Like versus a waterfall that's like, Niagara Falls or something. I think that it's saying something along the lines of like, there's so much more emotion involved in that tear. There's so much more there. You see a little tear, but there's way more under that you could explore.
Cool. That's very cool. So it seems like the rest of the lyrics there, he kind of keeps saying the same thing. Every tear is a waterfall. And then we go to these next line. So you can...
The bridge, yeah.
Yeah. So you want to hit that?
Sure. So it says, so you can hurt me bad, but still I'll raise the flag. And then it goes back into the outro, which is every teardrop is a waterfall. I think, again, it's just... It kind of takes me back to that from underneath the Rebel Singer Rebel song. I don't know, you can beat me down, life can beat me down, situations can beat me down, but still, because if you think of raising the flag, that's what happens in typically in war situations when you conquer a hill and you raise the flag to kind of show that you're still fighting, you're still here, and sometimes like you've even conquered that spot, that plot of land or whatever. So I think he's basically saying like you can beat me up, but I'm still going to get up and I'm still going to come back. I'm not going to lay down and just die, or take it laying down. Like I'm still going to keep getting up. And again, I think all of that relates to the songs and I don't know, the expression maybe of emotion through the song and feeling the emotions through the song and being able to work through things with the music and, I don't know, get to the other side of whatever tough situation you're going through.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. And you're right. Like the whole song is a song of hope. And, it's interesting that this song is so complex. We have our interpretations. I'm sure there's a lot of different ways
for sure.
you can go with all these songs. And I think it's cool sometimes if we ever get Chris Martin to join us.
I'd love to hear his
take on it. And
such a cool song.
I think it's cool sometimes when so many people have different takes on a particular song, but yet, it means different things to different people, which is kind of neat. But this was fun, Catalina. Good pick.
Yeah, thank you. I love this song. I highly recommend if you haven't heard it, you should listen to it.
Yep. Definitely listen to the song. And we are signing off. Take care.
Peace out.
Bye. Thank you for exploring this song with us. Be sure to listen to all our episodes on song exploration.